Welcome to the channel everyone, my name is Eric. Today we're going to change the cabin filter on a Ford Focus Mk1. I'm going to leave some time codes here for you so that later on if you want to come back to this video and just continue on from where you've left off, the front of this video will show you exactly where to go and which step. So this video is going to be a detailed guide on how to do this job. Every step of the process will be documented, including cleaning the plenum chamber. Now the reason you might want to clean the plenum chamber is for two reasons. One, it accumulates a lot of debris and a lot of leaves and things like that, so it's a good idea to clean it out to stop your car from rusting in this area. The second one is pretty much just general maintenance. While you've gone to the trouble of changing this cabin filter, you may as well go ahead and do the whole job and clean out the area while you're in there, because it's not very often that you get access to the plenum chamber. So while you've got the car open, you may as well go ahead and do this part. So as I said, this is going to be a step-by-step guide. With all that said, let's get started.
So what you're going to need is a wash bucket, some paper towels, some cleaning solution, an old wash mitt, some sockets, an 8, a 10 and a 13, a ratchet and some extensions for it. Then you'll need a Phillips head and a flathead screwdriver. You'll need an old toothbrush to get into all the tight spaces and some penetrating lubricant. Alright, let's get started. So on a Ford Focus Mk1, the cabin filter is located underneath this plastic shield here, just in front of the windshield. To get to it, what we're going to do is we need to remove the wiper blades first. We'll lift the bonnet, undo a bunch of clips that hold the plastic shielding in place, and we'll be able to get to the cabin filter. By the way, just before we go any further, I wanted to show you this. If you're not on a Focus Mk1 and you've got a different car and you can't find your cabin filter underneath the windshield, most cars these days actually have the cabin filter located inside the cabin. So the most common place to find it is behind the glove box. Now it's much easier to get to than you think. All you've got to do is drop the glove box right down and then look for the recess behind the glove box that ties into your ducting system. So as you can see on this car, there isn't a duct that holds the cabin filter because it's outside underneath the windshield, but basically you would have a small letterbox size nook here that houses your paper filter, and all you would need to do here is replace the paper filter and put your glove box back in place and you're done. Back to the job at hand. Bonnet's up. Let's expose the nuts for the windshield wipers. A good tip to do here is just mark where the nut and the windshield wiper lines up. This way when you put them back on, you're not trial and error fitting the wipers back onto your windshield. You want them sitting at the bottom of the windshield just like they came off of, and an easy way to do that is just to leave a couple of marks and do that for both of them. So next we're going to take the nuts off. And what you're looking at here is a 13mm nut and a washer. So do that for both. Next, just remove these plastic covers. They can be quite brittle, so if you're not careful with them as you're prying on your wipers, they could break. Just remove them, so they're quite easy to remove and replace. So what you may find, like I did, is your wipers may be stuck. So just run a little bit of lubricant here and let it soak for a little while. It'll give us a chance to remove the plastic shielding for the air cover first, and then we'll come back to the wiper blades. To remove the plastic shield, there is a plastic nut or a clip of sorts in the center of the windshield. There it is there. So that just slots in, and there's a screw that goes into the top of it, which I have already moved. I didn't take a video of that, so apologies for that. But it basically just screws into there. Once you've got that removed, there are a bunch of clips all along the bottom of these plastic shields. So all they do is they pop out just like so, and you use a flat blade screwdriver just to pry on them underneath the latch there, and they will pop up quite easily. So once you've got them all undone, just go ahead and carefully remove the plastic shielding, watching out for the clips that are underneath. You don't want to break any of them. Which exposes our absolutely disgusting pollen filter. So you can see why I wanted to do this job. It is absolutely filthy in there. I don't think this chamber has been cleaned ever. at all in the life of this car, and this is an 18-year-old car. So as you can imagine, this is what you're breathing in. This is the ducting that goes into your cabin, and every time you've got the ducting system open for fresh air from the outside, this is what your cabin filter has to contend with to give you fresh air. It's got no chance. The next step in this process is to actually remove the wiper blades. So go ahead and try to remove those. Now, if your car is like mine, these are stuck on there pretty good. So unfortunately for me, the penetrant fluid hasn't done much. So I had to resort to trying to pry these off. Now I tried a few things. I tried just pulling on them. I tried some pliers, but in the end, nothing worked, and what I had to resort to was an actual puller. They're quite cheap. You could pick up a pair for about 10-15 bucks. Really what they're for is pulling tapered joints, and that's precisely what your windshield wipers are. So once I had those attached, I had no problem. If your wiper blades are stuck, try this method. With the wiper blades finally gone, it's time to remove the other side of the plastic shielding. So again, just undo the clips with a flat blade screwdriver, pop up the shield, and be careful not to break the clips located up above, and you're free to look inside at all the disgusting glory. I'm so glad I decided to do this. With the shield gone, go ahead and remove the nuts that hold on the wiper mechanism. You're only going to need an 8mm socket for this. Go ahead and undo them all. That's the second bolt, and here is the third. 3 total. Alright, we're starting to make some good progress. The next bit will be the wiring. So there's just an attachment that holds it to the firewall, and this plastic shrouding holds the wiring connector for the electric motor. So just remove that and put it aside. Alright, with that removed, it's time to wiggle out the wiper mechanism. So go ahead, just gently rock it back and forth, in and out. You can basically pull the whole mechanism out as one unit. And there it goes. Next thing we'll have to do is remove all of this debris. Now with your cabin filter, don't remove it just yet, or you might risk dropping some of this debris in there. Leave it as a shield against debris while we remove the rest of this stuff. So I'm just grabbing a vacuum and I'm sucking out all of these leaves and debris. I'm being really thorough. I'm trying to get rid of as much of this stuff as I possibly can. Okay, with all that dirt gone, you're pretty safe to remove the old cabin filter now. So there are 2 tabs on either end that you just pry apart, and then the cabin filter just lifts out. Be really careful here because you've still got a lot of dirt trapped in the top section, and you don't want it to fall down into the air well. Alright, take a look at this thing. It is pretty stuffed. All the crevices are just absolutely jammed with dirt, bugs, old spiders, you name it. I am so glad I don't have to breathe this stuff in anymore. If you're in Australia like I am, here is the part number for the new cabin filter, and now just check out the difference between the old and the new filter. It was well timed to get it changed. Now remember, this is a filter, just like your oil filter. It serves an important purpose. It stops contaminants from going somewhere very important. In terms of your oil filter, it's into your engine, and in terms of this cabin filter, into your lungs. You really don't want to skip this during service. So the next thing I want to do here is remove the bracket that holds the cabin filter in place. This plastic shrouding is obscuring a lot of the plenum chamber, and I've got a funny feeling that there will be some more dirt in and around behind this bracket. So the first thing to do, just cover up the internal air duct opening with some paper towel just to protect anything else from falling in there. Using a 10mm socket, go ahead and take out the 2 bolts and remove the bracket. And look, sure enough, we've got a lot more dirt to get rid of. With as much dirt as I can lift out with a vacuum taken out, it's time to fill up a bucket and get the rest of the dirt out. Now I just want to emphasize here, be really thorough. Go ahead and take your time and get everything out. I mean, think about it. When does anybody really take the time to clean out their plenum? It's unlikely that you're going to do this for years to come. Most professional detailers don't even go to this extent. So if you're taking the effort to do this, make sure you do it right. Get everything out that you can, and it will last for years to come. Alright, check it out. I don't know what you think, but I know for sure that I would rather be getting my air out of this thing than what it used to be. Have a look at the difference. So with that all done, it's time to reassemble, and the first thing will be the plastic pollen filter bracket. Let's put the pollen filter in first, and then screw in the entire assembly as one. So just slide it into the brackets and clip the two ends on the left and the right back into place, and in it goes. Now note that I'm gonna leave the paper towel in the bottom of the unit there. Now the reason I want to do this is, as I'm putting this thing in, if there's any excess dirt left on either end, I don't want it falling into the well. So I'll attach it, and then I'll remove the pollen filter when I know that the bracket is secure, and then I will take out the paper towel. After you've given the wiper mechanism a good once over clean, just spray it with some silicone spray in order to ward off corrosion for as long as possible. Then reattach the shield, and it's time to put it back in the car. Alright, we're almost home. Time to put the plastic shields back on. As you're looking at it, you want to start with the top left first, and when you've got that corner lined up, the next thing to do is take a look at the tapered pins that the wiper arms go onto. You want to line those up with the holes in the plastic shield. Once you've got everything lined up, simply press down. Then repeat for the other side, same deal. Start top right corner this time, and then work your way into the center. And finally, attach the clip that goes into the center hole, and then put in the screw that goes in there. Last but not least, grab your freshly cleaned wiper arms and attach them to your car. Don't forget to line up the arms with the marks you've made, reattach the bolts, tighten them up, reattach the plastic covers, give everything a final clean and a wipe down. Now take a look at the results, and then do a happy dance, because you've just performed a detail on your car that most professionals would be proud of. It was a mission, but what a result. Not only will your car stop rusting in this area, but you will also be breathing quality air for years to come. And with that, the cabin filter video is done. Hope you liked what you saw, and more importantly, like me, I hope you've learned something new by following this video. Please give the video a like if you agree. Did I miss something? Do you have anything to add? Feel free to leave me a comment below. I always welcome constructive feedback. If you want to see more content from the channel, please subscribe and click the bell so you'll know when I post up something new. Now enough chit chat, go ahead and try this yourself. Trust me, your lungs will thank you for it.